Hello everyone, Rimea here, and welcome to the third and presumably final part of my playthrough of Newer Summer Sun. So this is a pretty classic Nismo's Wii summer-themed mod that I have definitely played through in the past before, but this is the first time for me doing a proper Let's Play of it on my channel. And yeah, we're here in World 8. This is basically the final world of the mod. There's also a World 9 level, but yeah, without further ado, let's get started with 8-1. So I actually don't remember much from this mod's version of World 8. I do remember that we're going to be skipping a large part of it because we're going to be taking the secret exit in 8-2, I believe. But yeah, apart from that, like, I mostly remember the forest and the desert and the beach worlds from this mod and not so much World 8. And I'm hoping that's because, like, I just forgot it and not that it's, like, super unmemorable. So far, it does seem to be just generic kind of volcano stuff, which maybe isn't the most interesting thing ever. It's interesting how they, like, for some reason the level environment is said to be like something that it isn't usually in lava levels, because you can see the background mountain there is like super orange, which I don't think is normal. That's an interesting choice. It definitely creates a very strange contrast between it and the sky behind that. Also, did you see that meteor just go straight through that question mark? I think that must be because that question mark was a sprite. I don't know. Okay, interesting bonus from here. I forget, were these shell guys, these giant buzz beetles, were those used in the original game? Yeah, they were, right? But they are like, they're a sprite that often appear in mods, I think, because they're a very cool kind of element to play with. They also appear in Newer Wii, for example. Hello there. Yeah, this seems to be all just very generic volcano stuff, not much in terms of like interesting mechanical combinations or thematic stuff or anything. It's just all like basically every single volcano element in a single level almost. It's funny how Nismo's Wii mods often do this thing where they take tiles and they just kind of use them in ways that weren't intended, but Nintendo also does this a lot. Like, for example, here, this slope going into the edge of the tiles there. It looks really strange looking at it at a higher resolution right now, but that would have looked completely normal on a Wii resolution, like how this mod is probably intended to be played. Alright, an actual, like, interesting setup for the third Starkman there. You'd love to see it. But yeah, I can't help but notice that this level so far is very just mechanic, spammy, and yeah, that's the end of the level. Alright. Well, there we go. But yeah, I'm hoping that the rest of the world is more interesting than that, and maybe they just had to get all of those volcano elements out of their system before moving on to more interesting stuff, or at least I hope so. I guess we'll have to see in 8-2. Alright, bullet bills and a propeller suit are definitely not things you'd expect to see in any volcano world, or at least I don't think they were used in the original game's volcano world, so that's good. Once again, it's interesting how this this mod uses custom music in a lot of levels, but then some levels, like so far these two volcano levels, haven't used custom music and they're just, you know, the generic lava music. It's an interesting choice, and I wonder if that has anything to do with how the development of this mod was maybe a little bit more rushed than usual. And maybe they just like had a couple of tracks that they wanted to use for the mod, but they didn't have, for example, volcano music. Oh, an actual bonus room for once for a star coin. That's amazing. Very, very simple setup there, but it works. It's kind of a shame giving the player a propeller suit in a level that has like no real verticality for the most part in terms of like threats or anything, because I would be able to just like, you know, fly over this whole level if I wanted to. Not to mention I just got that star coin there, and in fact I can also get this very easy star coin over here with the propeller suit. So yeah, it's a bit of a missed opportunity, that level, but oh well, there we go, that's 8-2 finished. And of course we're ending it off with a secret exit, because we're going to move on to the secret level in World 8, because we're skipping a large portion of it. Alright, I don't actually remember if this is also a Spine Coaster level in this mod. It definitely is a Spine Coaster level in the original game. I guess we'll have to see. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, right, I remember this level vaguely. This has always been such a an interesting mechanic to me, these like hanging metal platforms, especially because they're not in Nismo's U, but they are in Nismo's Wii and DS. And yeah, they have just like weird physics associated with them, but it's kind of cool seeing like such relatively realistic like physics depicted in a Mario game, with the way it both like falls down, but it also tilts and it has like this wobbling animation. It's pretty neat. And yeah, definitely a mechanic that I would love to use in a Nismo's U level, but yeah, sadly I can't. Speaking of how mechanics work between Need for Speed Wii and U, it's interesting how these scale platforms work differently in Need for Speed Wii, where they stop whenever you stop like touching them, whereas in Need for Speed U, they, if you want to at least, you can set it to where they have a default position that they always go back to, which allows them to be used in a much more interesting way, I think. Whereas in Need for Speed Wii, you can often get like soft locked if you don't set them up correctly. Oh, this is an interesting mechanic, a bit of a controversial mechanic, at least it is in my mind, because yeah, these death clouds, which insta-kill you, and which are unused in both Need for Speed U and Need for Speed Wii, basically. Yeah, they often pop up in mods because they're such an interesting, mostly unused mechanic. I am hoping to see a second star coin pretty soon, because so far I've been able to collect all the star coins in the mod, which is pretty interesting, because usually I don't do that, but because in this mod you need all the star coins in World 1, I end up, you know, collecting all of those, but then I also just kind of continue doing it throughout the rest of the mod, and so far we've managed, and there we go, there's the second star coin. Oh, looks like we're missing the third star coin though, actually. I guess we'll have to go back and look for it. Oh, hello. Ah, there it is, okay. I guess we were supposed to get that from the other side, but that works. Okay, so now it's on to, what is it, like, is it the airship already that we're moving on to now? I'm not actually sure. Oh yeah, it is, okay. Alright, well, here we go. Yeah, and we're back to vanilla music here with the generic airship music from Need for Speed Wii. But that's fine, I suppose. You know, most airship levels tend to use the same tune anyways, even if it isn't the same mix. So it's not that big of a deal, I suppose. Amazing star coin. Oh, I guess you were supposed to get that with the platform. Okay, that makes sense. Are these not semi-solid? Oh, they totally look like they'd be semi-solid. That's funny. Oh, let's go, bomb excavation, another staple of early NSMB mods, I think. Though saying that, there is a small bomb excavation section in the latest update of Cloudy 2, at the back entrance of the train level. Oh no, I messed that up. No! Damn, I was so happy with my propeller suit. There we go. I do like this mechanic here with the spinning blocks. Basically, they allow for some cool setups, and so far this level has some cool stuff in it for sure. I feel like in general this mod hasn't featured many like moving platforms or anything, which is usually an element of levels that I really enjoy. So it's nice finally having something like that. I'm sure there's gonna be a star coin with one of these, like kind of maybe up here, or even up here. No. There's a box down there, though. I bet you it's in here. If that's even possible. No, it's just a 1-up. Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I suppose I'm gonna have to run from here? Yeah, there it is. Okay. That's really funny. Like, yeah, you have to actually spin that platform down to make this jump, you know? Or same for this setup here, actually. It still weirds me out that these aren't semi-solids though. It's yeah, that's surprising. That's one of the elements that isn't in Need for Speed U. Alright, looks like we have a vanilla Bowser Jr. boss fight here. It's been ages since I've done this boss fight, actually. It's not often I do some of the more obscure Need for Speed boss fights like this one. But here we go, I guess. That's definitely one of the more enjoyable boss fights in any NSMB game, I think. Just in general, fighting something that isn't just a Koopaling jumping around is usually more enjoyable. Oh my god, who would have thought there's a final Bowser castle? Wow. Alright, here we go. I don't remember much from this particular version of the final castle. So far it seems pretty generic though, like similar to how the original final castle started. Oh, this is funny. So there's a mechanic very much like this, at least in terms of visuals, in the final console from the proper Nero Wii mod. And I suppose maybe this was like them kind of testing out that idea. I don't know, it's a interesting choice to put this here. Am I supposed to like take this with me? How am I supposed to jump up there? I guess I can make this jump. Yeah, there we go. But that seems like a pretty tricky jump, especially when you consider in the airship level. They encourage you to like avoid bigger jumps. So yeah, I don't know. I suppose once again these Bowser models here are also using that model loader functionality that was also seen in like the chain jump level and the Wiggler level. Oh yeah, I think we need all of the keys for like the third star coin, which is a funny little way of doing things. So yeah, I believe this is one of those 3-room setups for a final castle, which is pretty traditional at this point, I think. You know, it's also something that I guess Super Mario World kind of did as well, and a lot of other ROM hacks do that as well. This star coin seems easier to get than not to get, you know? Alright, second key. Pretty generic fire bar stuff. Maybe do I not need another key? Maybe there isn't, like maybe, oh yeah, I guess we are gonna have another room and then, yeah, probably another key as well. No, okay, whoops, I didn't actually want to grab that. Ah, okay, I shouldn't have done it like that. It's an exit door there, so I suppose there's an entrance door. Oh yeah, here it is, okay. That's actually like a good way of indicating that, you know, the idea of making you look for a door by seeing the exit door. Yeah, so I presume that all of those keys maybe just like entering that room just activates an event or something, which means that you get the star coin once all of the events have been activated, which is definitely something that could be mimicked in New Super Mario if you wanted it to. All right, 1 key, 2 key, 3 key, and there we go, first star coin. It's funny how up until recently people in the New Super Mario modeling community I guess didn't realize that you could use 2 checkpoints in New Super Mario Wii as well, just like you can in New Super Mario U. So for example, this final castle so far has only been like, you know, all without a checkpoint up until this room here. Yeah, it's really interesting. Also, I'd never really thought about this, but this is exactly like the entrance to the final Bowser fight in newer DS. So yeah, I suppose this level really does feature a lot of like prototype stuff for other newer Wii or other newer final castles. I'm wondering if I can get up there if I do a triple jump from that block there. Oh yeah, here we are, haha. The collision doesn't entirely work, but oh, I guess it's fine for the most part. But yeah, here we go. The nice thing about New Super Mario's Wii, like custom final boss fights, is you can actually customize stuff a little bit, of course. Like it's basically just another whole section of the level that's after this point, and you can just make that like basically any way you want, I think, which is really neat. And so that allows for modders to really, yeah, customize their final boss fight a little bit, which is not something that we New Super Mario modders have the ability to, sadly. Alright, let me see if I can actually tell what's different about this version of the final boss fight, because I presume it is going to be different in terms of tiling and whatnot. I'm not actually sure how much you can customize. I'm sure there are limitations in terms of like how long this section has to be and stuff. So yeah, but it's always been a very cool boss fight, this, I think. You know, you could say, well, it's kind of lame because you're not actually fighting Bowser, you're like just running away from him basically. But I do still think in terms of just gameplay and like actually being the end of a platformer game, I think this makes a lot more sense as a boss fight than like what New Super Mario U does, for example, which is just not as interesting in my opinion. So yeah, even though I mod New Super Mario U, I am of the opinion that this boss fight is better. It's definitely more epic with the music and whatnot. Well, this isn't very interesting, just a bunch of platforms like that. I've always found that giving the player a propeller suit there kind of makes the whole last section not as interesting because you can just skip most of it, you know, which was the case in the original game. Yeah, it just seems like you don't even need to have Bowser break any walls here, which is, yeah, kind of whatever. But there we go. That's Bowser dead, hopefully. Bye-bye. I've always found the lighting on the final Bowser fight from this game very interesting, like both on Bowser but also just on like the background here, for example, all of the different like wavy effects that are going on. It's very cool, I suppose. It's definitely unique. Yay. Yeah, I've always found it funny how he does the hat removal animation, even though he doesn't, like, he can't take off his cap with the propeller suit. So that's funny. I don't know if anything past this point has actually been edited in terms of like this cutscene, or I'm sure the credits must have been at least a little bit edited. I don't know. Yeah, it might just be because of nostalgia. I don't know, but I definitely prefer the whole like ending sequence of this game as well compared to that of Nismo Review with like the cutscene and whatnot. But there we go. Now it's time for some credits, I guess. And yeah, the credits are edited. That's funny, they credit the Nismo Review staff, even though Nismo Review hadn't come out by the time this mod released. I guess that's some foresight. But there we go, that's the credits finished.
Oh, yeah!
And there we go. One of the most impressive things I think about this whole mod is just the fact that it has a customized World 9. And I think this is the first mod of any kind of Need for Speed Wii that had a custom world map for anything. So yeah, let's go check that out. It's funny because famously the newer team didn't really have much in the way of custom modelers. And so for the most part, a lot of the custom models in this mod and also in newer Wii itself are basically just like compilations of existing models. So for example, this whole like custom roadmap here is basically just a coin model with a little path drawn between the two parts of the coin, and then like some other spinning coin stuff. But it's basically just like none of it is like really customized models or anything. And it's really funny, or I guess also impressive, just to see how much they managed to get out of that without any real custom modeling. But yeah, I guess now that we've we've actually gotten all the star coins in the entire mod, which I'm happy with, we can do the final level, 9-1. I'm pretty sure this level was like explicitly inspired by the banana level from the end of Donkey Kong Country Returns, or at least I presume it is, because it's very similar in a lot of ways. That level also has a bunch of like floating bananas, which are like the coins of Donkey Kong games. So I presume that's intentional, because this level looks very similar. But yeah, it's all coin stuff. It also features these weird break blocks, which are like, I don't know, they're weird, I guess. They're like different types of break blocks that do different things, I suppose. And of course, there's these giant coin rolling hills, which are, you know, a very cool idea. Though maybe using the actual coin models from in-game was a bit of a, I don't know, not a great decision, because first of all, like, they're just extremely polygonal, but also because of that, like, how polygonal they are, you kind of end up floating on most of the models here. Because I guess you only really line up with the coin at, like, the vertices here. It looks a bit strange, but for the most part, I suppose it's pretty cool, and it's definitely a cool way of using rolling hills in a mod. I'm not actually sure whether this this cloud background here, did they recolor that for this mod, or does that always look like this? I'm not sure. Like the yellow clouds, basically. Yeah, the weird thing about these break blocks is that they look like break blocks, but then when you hit them, they actually turn into question blocks, and it's super strange. And you can see that there's like these darker break blocks which actually animate, and then there's the like more yellowy break blocks which are the question mark blocks. I'm not sure why they did that. I have no idea, honestly. I guess maybe it's just a way to kind of, yeah, distinguish the two types of break blocks for you to be able to see stuff like that hidden vine there. I'm not really sure though. There's also some custom pipe recolors in this level, which is funny because in Express we, of course, you only have to recolor tile sets for pipe recolors. There we go, that's the second star coin. With a funny bonus from there because you can see the different types of brick blocks because of their different coloring. That's actually a pretty smart way of applying that weird feature that they came up with. Yeah, I honestly kind of like the idea of maybe, like, if, like, in some kind of mod, maybe, like, all of the brick blocks that actually had something in them would be like a slightly different color from the normal brick blocks, because that would save you a lot of time without really losing any like functionality or anything. Oh, I don't remember this bonus room at all. This looks really interesting. Guess it's just coin stuff, which makes sense. There's even like a custom background recolor and whatnot. It's very cool looking. I suppose this mod also came out around the same time as Nice Heroes 2, so maybe that's also something that influenced the idea of having a coin-themed level here. Because, yeah, it's definitely very similar. Did I miss out on the third star coin? No, no. I thought this was going to be the gold pole challenge here, but no, this is just for the star coin. Okay. This level actually manages to do some cool mechanical combinations that you don't see often, like here are these piranha plants with the rolling hills set up like this. It's actually pretty nice to see some, like, finally some interesting mechanical setups in this mod, because I feel like for the most part it's been a bit lacking on that front. Congratulations. Well, thank you very much. But yeah, there we go. I guess that's the end of the mod, guys. Yeah, overall I've really enjoyed it for the most part. It's definitely been a bit of an eye-opener, to be honest, in terms of like some of the star coins that were just extremely lame. But like I said, I did enjoy all of the levels for the most part. It's just that the design wasn't always completely up to snuff, but that's okay. But yeah, also others, I guess those brick blocks on the right there are on layer 2, which is extremely cringe. But whatever. If you enjoyed this video and all the other videos, make sure to leave a like and whatever, and subscribe, all of that stuff. You know what to do. See you later, guys, and bye-bye.